I'm George Flinn. At Recreating America, at our website, we like to keep you up to date on issues going on, and there's a lot of pro and con and controversy and what's going on with the Supreme Court. And on March 4th, the Supreme Court justices began hearing oral arguments, and that's about the Affordable Health Care Act. And there had been just confusion after confusion in the newspaper, radio, TV, magazines about what is actually going on. What is it about the Affordable Health Care Act? Are we going to throw it all out as unconstitutional? Well, there are a lot of things happening, and there's a myth that's really way out there that this challenges, as far as the Affordable Health Care Act, is it constitutional or not? It really doesn't do that. The Supreme Court has already ruled on that. They've ruled that it is constitutional. So why is the Supreme Court hearing all of this? Well, the big issue is one line in the law. It states that subsidies are available to those who signed up for coverage through an exchange established by the state. Now, this is where everything kind of diverges. The IRS, the Internal Revenue Service, says that subsidies will be available to those enrolling through the Federal Health Insurance Exchange. Now, is it federal or is it state? Which is it? That's what the Supreme Court is to rule on. The big question is, are these subsidies available through the federal program or only through the states that have set up these programs? The people challenging this law, they say that Congress really meant to limit the subsidies to state exchanges. Now, why do they say that? They say because they have tax credits for certain households purchasing health care insurance through the state exchange. But it restricts entitlements to exchanges created by the states. So in nowhere in the law, in the language, does it mention the federal government. What's happened is the IRS has overreached and said, well, they probably really meant the federal government. So that's the reason for the lawsuit. Ruling in favor of the challengers, now those that say it's only good for the state subsidies, it will affect a lot of things. The 13 states operating with their own exchanges, they're unaffected. Nothing changes. But if subsidies in the federal exchange are disallowed, well, 9.3 million people could lose $28.8 billion of federal help. And the number of uninsured they're predicting would rise to 8.2 million people. So you say, well, who's really affected by this? Well, it's low and moderate income white working adults living in the South. Ruling against the Affordable Health Care Act it was going to destabilize the entire insurance market. Now, I've got a plan that, it's a different plan and it works better, but we're into the Affordable Health Care Act. That's the law right now, so we have to deal with it. So why does it destabilize the entire market? Well, what happens is only those that really need medical services, they're the only ones that will hold on to the plans. And therefore, since you have fewer people in a plan paying out a lot more money because those are the people that need insurance, the premiums increase for everyone. Now, how much do they increase? A couple of percent? No, it's 47% if there's actually a 70% drop in enrollment. So it's quite an increase. Now, if there are no subsidies, there are no employer penalties. Thus, the law would not require large employers to provide insurance. No one is required to purchase insurance coverage if the lowest price plan in their area exceeds 8% of their income. Now, with the increasing prices, fewer people would be required to purchase insurance. So what do? Congress could settle all of this by passing a one-page bill, striking the line about subsidies being available through exchanges by the state, and putting in, okay, it could be by the state or the federal government. Congress could change all this. But there's a huge divide between Republicans and Democrats, and it's extremely unlikely that anything like this will occur. So I hope this gives you an idea of what the issue really is in this case in the Supreme Court if you read about it in the newspaper. But there's an answer to all of this about fixing health care, and we've got it on recreatingamerica.com. I want to hear your comments about what's happening at the Supreme Court and any other issues that are going on in the world today. I'm George Flinn. We're about recreating America. Thank you.